welcome to another INFJ ramble. So today's topic is going to be a mixed bag because it's kind of like several subjects that are interconnected, and I'm going to try to piece them together in a way that hopefully makes sense. Who knows? Who knows how these recordings turn out in the end? Anyhow, so the first thing I wanted to touch on is the fact that we are living in mental constructs. What do I mean by that? So we have our own individual perception on the world and our own definition of it, like how we define it, how we navigate through it, etc. And based on previous impressions and what we've been taught to believe in and what we've accepted or chosen to participate in, this creates the reality we are currently living. And each person has their own individual reality that they've created based on their mental construct. But predominantly, I think we have been living in the mental constructs of everyone else. Get it? Like, for instance, these mental constructs have been put into place probably aeons ago, by people who are more advanced. Do you get it? And our ancestors just kind of like have been following the same program, and it's been passed down through generations. And now we are here and we have the choice to become more mindful, more aware, to consciously make choices, to change the system, to create any reality we want. As long as we step out of the mental constructs that have been put into place for us and for our ancestors. Does that make sense? I was looking at it. Okay, so I have, in my previous videos, I have mentioned that I can't really digest as much information as I used to externally. I've kind of like tuned out externally and tuned in to my internal compass, if that even makes sense. So basically, like when I read books, I cannot read books like I used to. I cannot surf the web like I used to. Like before, I would have like 50 to 70 tabs open, and I'd be kind of like going through them like simultaneously, making connections, taking in other people's theories and perspectives and ideas and so forth, and piecing it together in order to come to like my own conclusion, and even questioning the data that I would consume and things. Okay, so that's really complicated, but as you know, we are complex people, but we are simple. No, actually, we are simple people who are able to process, digest, and assimilate complex things. That's what I think it is. We're also here to, let's face it, and this is a far-fetched vision, but I think INFJs are here to bring about the transition of heaven on earth. I've always felt that since I was a child. Heaven on earth, like this utopian society. I think that it is possible. Anything is possible. You know what I mean? And anything is impossible if you think that as well. Anyhow, because we can see through the mental constructs, or I can see through the mental constructs, I've decided not to participate in a lot of them. Like, don't get me wrong, like when I go to work or when I leave my house, I will adjust myself as needed in order to create harmony and in order to put myself in a position to understand the person in front of me more. But as far as like following mental constructs, I've just kind of like disconnected from that and started, like I said, reconnecting to myself and my internal realm. And it's interesting how fascinating life has become, and how peaceful too, how peaceful and beautiful. Whenever you participate in someone else's mental construct, you're basically agreeing to participate in a lot of, how do I say, rules, regulations, limitations, most times dramatic and conflicted belief systems that are not applicable to you or to most people anymore. They're like outdated, you know what I mean? So anyways, I've gotten away from participating in mental constructs, although I still appreciate and respect people as they appear in my experience. If that even makes sense. Where was I going with this? Oh, and then so I was thinking about technology and how it's a beautiful tool. I mean, it's allowed us to access information instantly. It's allowed us to connect with people we would normally not even know immediately. You know, so we're in a like space and time where we have created this tool to help us to create connections on an instantaneous level. You get it? Learn things, expand our mind, just make all these like connections that you normally wouldn't make without the tool, you know, this technology. So yeah, I mean, it's all in your perception. What do you want to participate in? Like seriously, if you are not in tune with your internal realm and you are not aware of who you are and what this is, you're going to be tossed around in mental constructs that are not your own, and in mental constructs that may not be beneficial to you or others, in mental constructs that keep you enslaved. You know what I mean? So that you keep participating in someone else's, reality instead of creating your own. It's all about creating your own reality. Seriously. It's hard to explain unless you've explored it a bit and you've kind of garnered some knowledge on it from an experiential level. It's really hard to explain and break it down to someone. I could be talking like nonsense to someone who just hasn't experienced it yet. You know what I mean? But for instance, I was saying, like, a good example is me and another person could be in the same room, same time, seeing the same thing differently. And depending on where you're at on your level of consciousness, are you vibrating from a higher frequency or are you vibrating from a lower frequency? That is the reality that you're going to construct. So if you're vibrating from a low vibrational frequency, like a frequency where you're still worrying and there's a lot of fear, unhealed traumas, anger, all that stuff, then that's what you're going to experience in your reality because you have that stuff in your internal realm. Now, if you have put in the work to elevate your consciousness, to clear your past traumas, to heal yourself, then you're going to be experiencing the same thing very differently. Like you're probably going to be like seeing, like more peaceful things, more beautiful things, more harmonious things, and you'll be able to like see where people are at without reacting, but instead holding compassion for them. So it just depends on how much you've progressed, how much work you've put into it, how much things you've garnered from an experiential level, your maturity, like where you are in the scale of metamorphosis or transmutation or alchemy. You know what I mean? because we're all alchemists. Some of us are aware of it, some of us are not aware of it. And I think that the people who have undergone like the most pain, who have felt the most misunderstood, the people who have, like I said, undergone the most pain, like I think not all of us, but not even most of us, but some of us are still stuck in that victim mentality. And until you heal that and rise above that, you're going to keep cycling that. You're going to keep like living in that mental construct, and you're going to keep creating that reality. But if you can realize like, you know, what's happening and proactively seek a remedy to raise your vibration or your consciousness, then you're going to realize that all of these like painful experiences were necessary in order to like give you the pressure that is needed in order for you to grow and blossom and bloom into who you really are. And when you do that, you can see things more clearly. And then when you interact with people who are still like processing their trauma, you can hold compassion for them, and you can also offer support as needed. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like, I don't know if I'm coming through clearly. There's just so many freaking things that I want to like express, but I just don't really know how to put them together. I'm just getting really jumbled up right now. Anyways, I was having a conversation with my partner today, and I was telling him that, you know, we've been fooled into believing that, you know, we need to participate in other people's, I'm going to say it again, mental constructs, and we become slaves to other people's agendas. And I said, you don't have to participate in it. You don't have to participate in it. You can take your power back, and then you can use that to live your own life and create your own reality. You know what I mean? You don't have to do what other people have been telling you to do. You don't have to live the life that other people expect you to. So in fact, you should start living your own life and start making decisions based on what feels right to you. You know what I mean? And I feel like if enough people raise their level of consciousness and become more awake and aware and allow themselves to become, I feel like it's kind of like the 100th monkey effect, where like when enough people believe in the same thing, they can actually like manifest it. You know what I mean? I think we're like at that tipping point. We're at that tipping point because I've been coming across more people who are aware and conscious, and technology helps us to spread ideas and theories and you know, information that will help one another to wake the fuck up. Excuse my French, but it's true. Just to kind of like really like look around and see like, what have I been participating in? Do I really want to do this anymore? Or you know what I mean? Am I being liberated, or am I being enslaved? You know what I mean? Yeah, we're all just kind of helping each other along in this evolutionary process, you know, and some people are here and some people are here, and we're all just helping each other, lifting each other up. And the people who don't want to change, well, they're just going to be stuck. And then the other people who want to change, we're going to be rising up and moving along. Hence the rapture. And the rapture, I mean, I'm not no biblical scholar. I don't know anything really, but this is just based on like what I've kind of assimilated. I feel like the rapture is not just like designated to the few. It's basically people who are willing to raise their level of consciousness to Christ consciousness, and Christ actually lived from his heart. So you know, it's getting out of your rational mind, living from your heart, and just kind of harnessing that energy and bringing that here to create your reality. And then if enough of us do it at the same time, we can bring heaven on earth. Wow. I don't know if, yeah. Totally random recording. Don't know if I made sense, but those are my innermost thoughts, and I will share them with you. Probably post this video for a little bit. I might take it down. Who knows? Anyhow, I hope you're having a beautiful day. Blessings to one and all. Amen.